So today we have just a short video for AP Chemistry because basically we finished the AP Chemistry class. Sometime either like today or yesterday you should have received the second test for AP Chemistry. Just like the first one, take some time to prepare in advance and then take it. Have your parent or guardian sign off on the form and mail it all back to me as soon as possible. At this point, the AP Chemistry class is over as far as prep for the AP exam. And so next week we'll be doing some stuff that's just general background information to help you in general with your chemistry background. But the course is basically over. At this point, you need to start shifting to getting prepared to take the AP exam. And there are several things that you should know. You should go visit the AP testing site in advance and check for all the information available. Specifically for the AP Chemistry exam, there are going to be tables. There's going to be a redox table, there's going to be a periodic table, and there's going to be a couple of pages of formulas that you're going to need for the test. You need to go to the site in advance and download those documents. You want to have all the documents available before you start the test. Next, there is going to be a demo about turning in your work on May 4th, and you need to go and take that demo. There are going to be two questions for the AP Chemistry section. One you're going to have 25 minutes for, one you're going to have 20 minutes for. The idea is you get to spend about 20 minutes on the first one, working out whatever solution, writing it in whichever form you want. There are several different ways of submitting your information. You absolutely have to practice those ways and make sure your method will work to submit them. You'll then have 5 minutes to submit the work on problem 1. It doesn't matter if you get it all loaded before, but you have to start submitting your answer before the 25 minutes are up, and that is sometime during the 5-minute loading period. Once that 25 minutes is over, you will not be able to work on problem 1 anymore. You will automatically be shifted to problem 2. You can only work on problem 2. Problem 2, you'll have about 15 minutes to work out your answers from, and then you'll again have 5 minutes to submit your answers. Several key points. You get graded on what you get right. So first and foremost in working the problems, you have to get down all the stuff that you are going to get right first. Don't worry about skipping over stuff that is either going to be time consuming or you're not sure of. Absolutely do the stuff that you are sure you're going to get right. You don't need to do the whole question to get a 5 on it. You just have to do enough of it to get a 5 on it. So make sure you're getting everything right that you're getting right before you submit your problem. Two days before your exam, they will email you an IAP test ID. You need that ID to take the exam. As it is, if they don't receive the email, you can get it by signing on to your account in the AP website. So absolutely go to the AP website, get that ID. You have to have the ID to take the exam. And this is an important point. If for some reason you decide you can't take the exam, don't do anything. Just save the ticket and apply to take the makeup at a later date. Once you have signed in the ticket, you are taking the exam. So don't start the exam until you are absolutely ready, and don't sign in the ID until you're ready. Get all the documents, everything else in advance, be all ready. Don't sign in until you are ready to take the exam. If something comes up during the exam that prevents you from taking it, the power goes out, your house is swept away by a hurricane, whatever, save the ID ticket. You'll be able to appeal that you had something come up and be able to take a makeup test in June. But save the ticket. Make sure you keep it. You're going to need that anytime you're dealing with the test. And if you want to do the makeup, you can appeal for a makeup, and they'll let you take it in June. But you have to make an appeal for it. The most important thing you need to know about taking the test is you can't do it on Internet Explorer. That's one of the most common browser systems, but for some reason it's not compatible with the test. You absolutely have to be using Chrome or Firefox or some other compatible browser. You need to go to the AP website and double check that your browser will in fact work if you're not using Firefox or Chrome usually. But for some reason they won't let you use Internet Explorer. In the same way, there are 3 different ways of submitting your work. Go through on May 4th and do the demo. Make sure that your method of inputting your results works. There's 3 different ways you can do it. Find one that works for you, that's most convenient for you, but make sure it works. Go through doing the demo. And like I said, there are documents that you're going to want in advance. You absolutely want to have those ready in advance, specifically the formula sheets. They give formulas that we've used commonly, but they usually give it in a form that is more universal than we have used it. You need to be able to go through those formulas and translate them into what we've usually been using. You should mark up those sheets and rewrite those equations so that they're familiar and quick to you. The main thing is, it's a free response test. That means it's not going to be just fact-based. They're not going to just be asking you to come up with facts because it's open book, open notes. They're going to be asking you to interpret stuff and derive stuff. So you have to be thinking flow and process, not facts and checks and matching. And so like the problem I did where I said, here's the equilibrium constant, what's the E for the cell? There are going to be those kind of problems. You're going to have to take the information and work your way through to the answer. It's not going to be yes, no, it's not going to be A, B, C, it's not going to be Napoleon at Waterloo. You're going to have to derive answers. So be prepared for that. Last and most important, as always, make sure you are answering the question. Don't simply go through and answer something. Make sure what you're answering is answering the question. For example, if the question says, when you push down on a piston compressing a gas, the pressure goes up. Why? Don't write down Boyle's law. Boyle's law said that if you push down on the piston, the pressure will go up. It's not providing any explanation for why that is happening. That simply says that's what happens. That's not an explanation. The idea is when you push the piston down, you can increase the frequency with which the particles hit the walls. And that's producing the raise in pressure. The pressure doesn't go up because of Boyle's law. Boyle's law simply says the pressure will go up. Make sure your explanation is explaining the phenomenon they're asking about. Don't use titles and names as if they were answers. They're not. At this point, I have posted a review sheet for the course. Go back through it and double check stuff. If you have questions, email me questions and I'll do examples of problems for next week. In the same way, keep in mind the fill-in prep is very good practice for some of the earlier concepts we go through. Go through anything you're not sure about. Go through and double check. Do the kinetics section. Do the thermochemistry section. Do the information and electron configuration part of the Flynn prep. And if you run into problems or aren't sure of something, then email me questions. And like I said, I'll try and examples of solving those specific problems. Otherwise, I'm going to give you some general background relating to organic chemistry, which will be nice information and might come in handy somewhere down the line in your chemical career. And so we'll do a little bit in chapter, I think it's 2020 or 22. All right, that's all for today. Go work on your exam. Send it back into me. The idea is simple. You've had 2 tests. I'll grade them and score the second one and give you a grade for the class up to this point. If you are happy with that grade, you don't have to take the final. Whether you want to take the AP exam or not is up to you, but if you are happy with your grade after the second test, you cannot take the final. If you're not happy with that grade, then you have to specifically tell me you want to take the final. I'm not going to make up a final for everybody. If somebody specifically wants to take the final, I'll make a final for those people. But if you're happy with your grade, I am not planning on giving a final. See you next week.